Wait, so you're really trying to tell me that the only reason Sami Zayn won the ladder match was because he handcuffed himself to AJ and then handcuffed Jeff Hardy's earlobe to the ladder? And shockingly, that wasn't the weirdest thing we saw last night. Welcome to your Clash of Champions review. Hello! So, last night was Clash of Champions, so that's what we're going to do, we're going to review it. So, on a personal level, they did not kick me out of the Thunderdome. I was in the Thunderdome from 5:45 all the way till the end, and I was actually on TV. I was really excited. So, for the first half of the show, I was actually in the second row TV side. I had like a blue tapestry behind me, and then I had a lemonade shirt on, and then they were like moving me around. I was like really excited. I was like, wow, you didn't move me. Or like, you didn't kick me out after an hour. It's great. So that was fun. I actually felt like I was happy anyways after, which I guess is the purpose of Thunderdome. And enough about me, because that's not why you all tuned into this video. So, if you went on Twitter about maybe 45 minutes to an hour right before the kickoff show, you would have saw that there were reports that Nikki Cross, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax all were not going to be on the card because of something. So, they announced it as they were not medically cleared. So, of course, the rumors around that they have COVID because Nikki wasn't on SmackDown on Friday. But Jax and Baszler were on Raw Monday. I don't know. So that was interesting. The tag title match is obviously going to be addressed tonight, so I'm guessing, like, whatever else happened to it. So that should be interesting. And then, if you were on Twitter throughout the pay-per-view, Jax was like, Baszler's pregnant, that's why we weren't on the card. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Well, why? No. So, because of that, Zelina and Asuka got moved to the main card, but sadly, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between Shinsuke and Cesaro versus Lucha House Party in the kickoff show. So, this was a really good match. Lucha House Party and Shinsuke and Cesaro have really good chemistry. The commentators did a really good job building up the fact they were actually working on the same page and they weren't, like, screwing each other over like they had teased on SmackDown the last couple of weeks. But I think we all knew that Lucha House Party was not going to win. So Nakamura and Cesaro win. It was a really good match to be on the kickoff show, especially for what was to come later on in the night. This was a good start, especially when they were probably running around like crazy, changing the show 500 million times because of the matches they had to scratch. So good job, WWE. Good job. That ladder match was incredible. Like, that was the way you wanted to start the show. So as I said in the beginning, there were handcuffs. Before we get there, there were so many amazing spots. Like, there was one spot where Hardy was on the ladder like a snake, and I think it was AJ pushed the ladder, and Hardy went, like, in between the ladder, and he fell on the ground. Oh my god. Like, then Hardy, like, before the match, they showed, like, all three of them in ladder matches. So they showed Hardy from WrestleMania 33 when he did the Swanton Bomb on Cesaro to the ladder, so he was trying to do that again. And it was just insane. My favorite part was when so Hardy was climbing the ladder, and AJ takes another ladder, throws like a javelin to Hardy, and I was just like, ow, that hurts. But it was just so funny. These three did an amazing job with this ladder match. I said it in my predictions on Friday. This is going to be the match of the night. And even with the main event, I still believe this was the match of the night. So the match ends basically. So Zayn pulls out two handcuffs. The first pair of handcuffs, so Hardy has like the gauge earrings. So like there's a hole like in his earlobe. So he puts the handcuffs through that hole and then hooks it to a ladder. Second pair of handcuffs, he hooks it to AJ. So AJ's trying to fight back. And now Zayn hooks it to AJ. So AJ's trying to figure out like, how am I going to climb this ladder with like being handcuffed? So he's like carrying him on his shoulders, whatever. Hardy gets up and he's trying to like figure out like what he's gonna do. Then Zayn has the key in his pocket. Zayn's like, this is simple. Takes out the key, unhooks himself, climbs the ladder, and becomes the undisputed Intercontinental Champion, I guess. I was really, even though I picked AJ, I was really happy Zayn won because I feel like he could do a lot with the title. On the pre-show, he actually came out and started yelling at Charlie Caruso and Booker T for not acknowledging him as the Intercontinental Champion, which I also found really funny. So I think this was the best thing to do. Also because, like, Zayn really didn't have a run. Like, he won it at the Chamber, I think. Yeah. He won it in February. Whatever February is called. He won it in February. He defended in Mania. And then he left because of COVID. So he really didn't get a fair run. So I'm happy WWE's finally letting him have a fair run. I'm really excited to see what he does. I'm really hoping that whoever is like the Hispanic in the Lucha House Party, they put them in the Intercontinental Championship picture. There's so many great talent you can put in that picture on SmackDown, so I'm really excited. Because Zayn can just have an amazing match with whoever. So, good job. This 24/7 title needs to go. I'm telling you, it literally needs to go. So, like, on the pre-show, Truth came out, like, it was Halloween. He was dressed as a farmer. And he was like, I'm ready to dig for gold. And then they were like, no, your title's on the line. So he's running around. He goes into the ref's lounge. And they're like, oh my bad. And Gulak's like doing lunges through the hallway. Attacks Truth and wins. No. And then later on in the night, Gulak did an interview. And he was saying, like, you always have to be ready, you always have to be ready. And then Truth attacked him and won his title back. Get rid of this title, please. That was a championship match, though, on Raw. Top notch. So, like I said, Zelina really hasn't been able to show how good of a wrestler she is. Like I said, like, if you watch TNA back when she was Sarita, it was, when she was in tag team with Sarita and Rosita, she was Rosita. And she was absolutely amazing. Joe did a really good job here because Joe was like, this just proves why Zelina just needs to be in more singles matches on Raw. And I'm like, thank you, Joe. Thank you. Me and Joe are always on the same page. Me and Joe just say the same thing. Which is great because I want to be a commentator, so I guess it worked out in the end. This was a quick match. I expected it to be a little bit longer, but Vega just tried to, like, get out of the Asuka lock as much as she can, tried to attack the arm so she couldn't put the lock on her. And then she finally got it and she tapped, and then like Charlie comes in to interview. So there was a lot of interviews. I don't know why. So comes in and Asuka's like, oh, she's a firecracker and she's really good, but she wasn't ready for Asuka. She tries to shake her hand. Vega says no, bows, and then just attacks Asuka. So I'm hoping that this leads to maybe another match. Maybe not a Hell in a Cell because of what happens later on tonight. I don't know what they're trying to do, but maybe like not Survivor Series because it's going to be Bayley and Sasha again. But maybe a TLC or something. But this was really good. Zelina, please be booked in more matches. That'd be great. The US title match is always good. So Lashley versus Cruz was really good. This was a good, also, like, filler, kind of, because, like, you have to try to calm down from the ladder match because of how great it was. Cruz and Lashley have great chemistry, as we've seen the past couple weeks. Lashley obviously puts in the Lashley lock, or whatever they call the full Nelson, and he submits. I'm really hoping that this is the last time we see Cruz, like, fighting for this title. I feel like we've just seen it so much. Like, I want new, fresh matches, and I'm hoping with the draft in 2 weeks, we're gonna get that. And we are gonna talk about the draft, because I'm scared that Ronald's gonna get moved to SmackDown. That's not what I want. But this was good. There's two amazing talent just getting in there. See what you could do. You could put Lashley versus Ricochet. They wouldn't do that, but smart thing to do. Come on, people. So, the tag match was also really interesting because at the end of the match for Street Profits versus Andrade and Garza, they rushed the finish. So, you see at the end, so I'm going to talk about the end first. Dawkins did a move. I forgot what move he did. But he did a move. And then the ref counted 2. Andrade kicked out. But the ref counted as 3, and then everyone was so confused. And then they show the trainers attending to Garza. So I read on Twitter this morning that there was a hip injury and not a knee. I don't know where he got hurt. So I'm hoping he's okay. But this, like, even though I complained about this match because we've seen it so many freaking times, this match was amazing. These two teams have a really good chemistry, but I'm really hoping the Street Profits move on from this and go somewhere else. Like, you could literally take two people from the Hurt Business and have them go after the titles, which is what I would rather see than just, well, yeah, two random teams, like one random team, woohoo! No! Get a tag team division! This is why AEW's tag team division is better! It's like the main thing on their show! Oh my god. But yeah, good match. I'm hoping Garza's okay. Sad face. So, what came next was really weird. So Bayley comes out and she's like, oh man, like I got new gear for you and like you couldn't even come because you're not medically cleared, yada yada whatever. Then she says an open challenge, no one answers it. Then the refs look. So then she's like, ref, count to 10 or whatever, raise my hand, say I win. And you just hear Asuka's music. So I completely understand the reason why it was probably Asuka, but there are so many other women talent that live in Florida they could have used. Come on. Especially because, like, this is confusing. Like, are you going to have a feud between Bayley and Asuka now? But, like, then Banks comes out at the end. So, like, was this just a filler? You really put yourself in a nice little predicament here, WWE. Anyway, so Bayley wins. So Asuka wins by DQ because Bayley hits Asuka with a steel chair. Banks comes out, and Banks just starts hitting her with the chair. There's a kendo stick in there, and then Bayley runs away. Sasha looks strong here. I'm really interested to see when they're doing this match, because I know the reason they didn't do it at SummerSlam necessarily was because of the fact that they want to wait for fans. But I don't know when that's happening, because there's rumors that, like, after Halloween, so that's after the Thunderdome is done, we're going to go outside, which is weird, because then it's going to be colder. So unless you're going to stay in Florida, why are you going to go outside? It's going to be cold. Like, winter's coming, people. So I don't know. I would love to see us in a Hell in a Cell. I would love this match to be the main event of Hell in a Cell. I know it's not going to happen. But I'm interested to see when this match is going to take place. But this would, even though the match did get scratched between Cross and Bayley, this was a good filler. This was a really good little segment to get you hyped for the two championship matches that kicked it out of the park. Oh my god. So, the ambulance match I had really low expectations for, because I thought so many things. I'm like, Lee's going to interfere, Orton's going to win, which would make sense, but then I would get, like, upset or whatever. So, the match starts and Orton takes control right away. Then the Big Show comes out. So this match, I like to call it, like, Randy Stevens coming to haunt him. Because, so, Big Show comes out and prevents Orton from punting McIntyre. They go to the back. They go, like, to the bootleg, I want to call it bootleg catering, because I know it's, like, not the catering, but I guess it's what they're doing since we're in COVID. Christian comes out and starts beating up Orton. So now we go back to the ambulance, and now, like, Orton slams McIntyre through the glass breaks, and then they're on top of the ambulance, so now Orton's on top of the ambulance, Shawn Michaels comes out and super kicks Orton, pushes him off the ambulance, and then when McIntyre wins, Ric Flair is driving the ambulance. You can't make this stuff up, people. So, for something I had really low expectations for, and for something that I figured was going to be the main event, because I even said on Friday, like, I thought that, like, I did not think they were going to put Jey Uso in the main event, and I was wrong. And thankfully I was, and we'll get there. This was really, really good. Like, you were just so invested in this, because there were so many times that you really thought Orton was going to win, because Orton just looked so much stronger against McIntyre, and even there was a point where McIntyre Claymore kicks the door of the ambulance, and he's selling you this knee injury so well. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So, what's next? I thought there was going to be an Orton McIntyre 3. I guess not. So I guess Orton's just going to, wrestle the Big Show or Christian. Not Ric Flair. But this was really good. They really took this match and really made it something. I agree with everyone that says this is the best version of Orton we've seen in a while. Keep doing stuff like this. This was amazing. You go, WWE. this main event was absolutely wonderful. You knew that Reigns was just going to kick Jay's ass, and that is what he did. Oh my god. So, Jay did get offense. You know, they have the part where, like, you know, Jay gets his thing, and you think he's gonna win, but he's not gonna win. So, they were smack-talking each other, Reigns yelling at the ref. So there's a part towards the end where Reigns can definitely win. And he's like, acknowledge me as your tribal chief, acknowledge me as, like, the head of the table, like, all the stuff that he said on SmackDown. And Jay's like, no, not today, and he keeps beating him up. So Paul's like, you are the tribal chief, and Reigns is like, no, I don't want to hear it from you, I want to hear it from Jay. Jimmy Uso comes out, limping, I might add, with a white towel. He's like, I'm gonna throw it in, and Jay's like, no, don't throw it in, don't do it. And then, call me your tribal chief, no, let me throw in the towel. Like, going back and forth for a good, like, 10 minutes, to the point where Jimmy's like, whatever, throws in the towel. Jimmy goes in there to check on Jay, and he looks at Reigns, and he goes, you are the tribal chief, leave him alone, stop. And, you know, so Jay had come out with, like, this red legs, which I guess symbolizes tribal chief. I don't really know. So then, like, Paul puts it on Reigns, and then, like, Reigns sent over strong. So I don't know if now we're going to see Jimmy well, I don't know if Jimmy's cleared, because the way, like, he was limping, it seemed like he wasn't 100%, but, like, he was still able to, like, move around. So I'm wondering if we're going to see Jimmy versus Reigns now, like, maybe a 2-on-1 or something, which would also be kind of stupid, but whatever. Typically, we see the craziest things. But this was phenomenal. Like, for a pay-per-view that was here in expectations, they really kicked it out of the park, especially having 2 matches scratched. The WWE did really, really good. So I'm going to talk about the draft for a couple seconds here. The draft's in 2 weeks. The draft is on October 9th and October 12th. Starting on SmackDown, just like last year. So here's where I'm scared. Because I don't want Rollins to move to SmackDown. I want Rollins to stay on Raw. But I have this gut feeling. Because Rollins has always been safe. Like, Rollins has always stayed on Raw. Like, every single draft. So I have this feeling that he's going to move to SmackDown. But then Becky's going to move to SmackDown. Like, when she comes back. But, like, please, keep him on Raw. Please. I'm the only person that's going to say keep him on Raw. But, like, just switch Ray and Dominic to SmackDown. Ray's mainly known for being a SmackDown guy anyway. So yeah, this should be interesting. So that is your Clash of Champions review. Make sure to tell me in the comments what your reaction to Clash of Champions was. Make sure to like this video, give it a big thumbs up, press that button for notifications, and subscribe. I will see you tomorrow for our Raw reactions. And I'm hoping for a good show, especially because, I'm excited to see what Rollins is going to do tonight. If Rollins on the show. If he's not, I'm going to be really upset. And we're going to have another intro of me crying. But yeah, see you all tomorrow.